Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Good Night, Everybody. Good night, everybody. Hey, good night, everybody. My lighting is different. I'm experimenting. I don't know. It's fine. I am your host, as always, Christopher Lawrence, or Chris Lawrence, for brevity's sake. With me, as always, about to appear on the screen, as if by magic, Psychic Steven, fresh from his deviant convention. How are you?
I'm
How
not.
was it?
That's next week.
Oh, next week is the deviant convention. Okay, well, we'll
It's
talk about
not
that next
deviant.
week.
It's not a deviant convention.
So, fresh from I don't know what, from something.
Sure.
Looking fresh.
My
Look
house
how
nearly burned
tiny I
down
am
this week.
compared to you. What happened to me?
You do look very tiny. I was gonna make mention of
But in
that. Like
reality, I'm
I'm
big.
like this, and you're like that.
But I don't know why this happened.
You're sitting too far away from your camera.
I can't. There's a desk. See if I go like this, I'm leaning over a desk.
Like
It's pushing into my abdomen.
it's a workout. It's good for you.
But I'm usually bigger, aren't I? Well, I do
No.
work out. I work out every day. That's why I'm big, but I look tiny right now.
You want a mint?
I probably need one, but are they Altoids?
They are. I got them.
So let me tell you something that here's another reason that oh, thank you. I'm gonna wash it down with some lovely beverage. Can we show? This is a question for the lawyers, for the show's lawyer. This has peanuts on it. Now that's obviously a copyrighted property.
Peanuts.
Are we gonna get in trouble for that?
Here. I don't know. Someone would have to watch the show and report us to a copyright lawyer.
That's true. That's what saves us from a lot of these problems is nobody's watching this.
Yeah.
So we remain safe.
Yeah.
For those reasons. So let me tell you what I had to discover today that I didn't want to because of the internet and social media, which I hate. So are you familiar with this soap brand called Dr. Squatch? And their mascot is a Sasquatch, a Bigfoot.
I am. Well, vaguely. I'm only familiar with it because of the exact news story you're going to share with us today.
Okay. So our good friend Van Man, who has been a guest on the show, who, for those who don't know, runs an excellent company providing natural alternatives to all these toxic toothpaste. He started with toothpaste. Now he's got soaps and moisturizers and scrubs. He's now opened a restaurant even, tallow burgers and fries and things. All good stuff. Anyway, Van Man, our friend, shared a post from Dr. Squatch, who I guess we consider a competitor, that apparently
he's a real doctor.
They shot a commercial at some point featuring Sydney Sweeney, who I have to know who that is, unfortunately, also, who was a lady. Well, I use the term loosely.
Still is a lady.
She's an actress. I use the term loosely. Who is famous for having what Scarlett Johansson used to have and got rid of.
Talent.
You can fill in the blanks. Well, no. Anyway, she's known for that. Or what Dolly Parton for the older folks. But who has talent though? Dolly Parton has talent.
Marilyn Monroe for the really old folks.
No, but Marilyn, they were not as. Why are we talking about this? They were smaller than advertised. The public perception is of voluptuousness when it comes to Monroe, but in fact, especially by today's standards, she would be small.
Okay.
I told you I saw Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, and they were little. They were very little at the SNL after party. Anyway, no, Tina Fey wasn't there. Amy Poehler, just Amy Poehler. What was I saying? Okay.
I look gargantuan.
So anyway, the doctors, yeah, you're enormous now. You look like a Squatch. And I look like a Webster. Dr. Squatch, whose medical license is under review, or should be, they shot a commercial with Sydney Sweeney where she's in the bath. Now, I don't know the state of dress or undress. In actuality, there's a lot of bubbles. But now, okay, and that's fine, whatever. It's a little pervy, but it happens. But now, Dr. Squatch, I found out via Van Man, our friend Van Man, is raffling off soaps containing a drop of the water from Sydney Sweeney's bath when they shot the commercial. This is peak perversity. Now, this is not some fringe thing. This is a brand that is readily available in places like Target. Not that they're a stranger to perversion over there. But this is where we are now. Like, that used to be like niche internet pervert micro celebrity stuff. Like farts in a jar and bathwater. It's just like, and again, if there were no social media, I would never have to know about any of this. It doesn't come up in polite conversation. I would never, but I have to know about it now because I have to be on X because I'm trying to promote this show and book guests for it. And these are the things I see. Now, if you look at like who I follow, there's nothing. Okay, this is Van Man's fault, but I don't blame him because he's bringing to the people's attention the problems with these brands, even the ones that ascribe natural intentions to themselves. Because the Dr. Squatch guy says, "Oh, it's a natural soap brand." Well, there's nothing natural about somebody's butt water in there. I don't want that. I mean, I guess it's natural, but it's gross.
It is gross. I should let you know that Sydney Sweeney will be on the show in 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, that'll be great. We'll ask her about that. About this. Maybe we can get some free bathwater from her then.
For those of you
what about that
at home, that's a lie.
Let me ask you about this, and let's present this as safe as we can. Because here's what else I don't understand: what exactly is erotic about that? Because that's the selling point, right? Oh, I got some of her bath, but I mean, but why? What if you stuck her finger in a cup of soup and then sold that soup? What, like, why would somebody be like, oh, you know?
People are weird.
It's because her things are in there, but still, it's not like you use the soap is like touching her things. But people just imagining, like, oh, you know. But they can imagine it anyway. What is I don't understand. What is the draw of this?
Draw of it is that you are now talking about it. The number of people who actually care about the soap itself and who would want to buy it, it's minuscule.
They're auctioning off like 10,000 or something.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, the point is, the people who are going to be collectors are people who are dumb, who are thinking to themselves, oh, well, if I buy this bar of soap, in 5 years it'll be worth even more. So I'm going to do this thing to be part of history. And there are some people who just spend money on stupid things. But
there's some of that, but I'm going to argue that is the minority. I think there's people that are buying this and going, I'm going to rub it on my stuff, and then it'll be like our things are rubbing together.
I'll let you know when mine comes in.
Well, yeah, if it has any effect.
Yeah.
Plus, that's dirty. Now you got dirty soap.
It is weird that you would take someone's already bathwater and infuse it into soap and act in some way, shape, or form that is worthwhile.
It's a backwards move because you got the soap in the tub in the first place, and now you're taking the tub and putting it in the soap.
It's like if you advertised, like, each one of our bars of soap has 1 ounce of cow dung in it. It's like, but I don't want cow dung on me. Like, I don't. If my wife were taking a bath, let's say, I would empty the water.
I'm assuming she does at some point.
But yeah, she's mostly a shower person. But yeah, but I would empty the water before I took a bath, and it doesn't matter. Like, there's nothing. I see what you're saying. Like, there's nothing like.
Because you don't want to throw the wife out with it. You got to be careful. And that's what used to happen. Clean water used to be so scarce. You used to have to trudge across the town and heat it on a fire. The phrase, throw the baby out with the bathwater, they'd give the baby the bath first because it was considered the cleanest. It's just a baby. And then you empty they would give the baby the bath last. They were stupid. This is what happened. The guy who came from the coal mines, right? They would say, oh, he needs to be cleaned off first because he's the dirtiest. They were stupid. So he'd get in the bath, and then all the soot would come off, right? And then the wife would get in, and she'd have like cooking flour and everything all over her, women do. And it would make the water even murkier. And then they put the baby in there. Well, now you can't see a damn thing in the water. It's as opaque as, I don't know what, mud. And they would dump the water out of the window when they were done. Oh, the baby. And that's where the phrase, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater came from. Of course, these people were drunk on whiskey half the time. So, it was like, this was primitive. Anyway, that's where that phrase came from. You're welcome. What are you looking at?
It's not. I'm looking. I was looking to see if I could find something that says none of this is true that I could
No, it's
flash on
completely
this.
true.
That I could flash on the screen whenever you start to
Well,
talk
don't
about
flash
something.
me. Don't flash me.
Not in that.
This is this because of the Sydney Sweeney thing? That is how she got famous, from my understanding.
No.
But
It's the
good grief,
baby with the
Steven,
bathwater
we
thing.
don't want you to do it.
I'm not
Don't
doing
flash anything. We're going to get in big trouble if you flash us on the screen. Plus, I don't want to see that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm going to tell your wife. She'll see this. That's for her. Whatever it is, don't flash me with it. I mean, we need views, but
I'm
goodness
not.
gracious.
No, we're not gonna. Not any of that. I had to buy new shoes.
Huh?
This is completely unrelated. I had to buy. So I've had a weird week.
We're going to play a game soon.
Yes, we are.
Not yet. You had a weird week. Let's tell me about this. What happened?
So Monday morning, so to speak, from Sunday night to Monday morning, my wife, she's pregnant, so she's got the super smeller that happens when you're pregnant.
Okay. All right.
Right. And she smells what she thinks is like wood cooking, like wood burning, like a wood burning stove type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So she wakes me up and she says, "Can you go check to make sure our house isn't on fire?"
Now, do you have a wood burning stove?
We do not.
Oh.
So I go downstairs.
Something is amiss.
Yeah, something is amiss. I go downstairs and smoke is billowing out of our island in the middle of our kitchen.
Were you making pudding again, Steven?
No, this is
Remember
not
what
a pudding
happened last
situation. I know this is not a pudding situation.
Okay.
It was an electrical issue that caused a fire. It wasn't big. I was able to put it out, and but when I saw that it was actually fire, I like woke all the kids up and I got them out of the house.
Well, of course.
And so it was me and a fire in my kitchen, but it wasn't big. It was small enough that I was able to put it out with just water from the sink.
Well, thank God for that. Yeah, but it was an electrical fire. I thought you're not supposed to do that.
Well, it was the cause of the fire was electrical, but the fire itself was on the wood.
I see.
And whatever, if I shorted out the electrical circuits, I don't care. My house was going to catch on fire. I needed to get rid of it. We bought we have a fire extinguisher, but I didn't know where it was at the moment. And it was 4:30 in the morning and I wasn't going to go searching for it. So now we have one that we keep just sitting right there in the kitchen. We bought a new one. Anyway.
Generally a good idea. Yeah.
Yes. So I threw water onto this fire, got it all taken care of. That was my Monday. And then on Monday night, we're sitting there and the lights in our kitchen just shut off. And I think that's all in the same circuit. So something's going wonky there. So I had to shut off I shut off that whole circuit. And then yesterday our pipes were clogged, and so I had to call someone out to come and clean them out because I have one of those cleaner things that actually goes in and cleans it out, but it wasn't great.
It's called a snake.
Yes, yes, I have a snake, but it's a big one. It's like 75 feet long.
No.
75-foot long snake, for a drain snake, and so, but it didn't work, and so I had to call somebody else out. And the guy has like a much smaller snake than my snake.
No, Steven.
But he gets it done. He gets the job done.
Oh right? Boy. Okay. Yep.
he cleans my pipes
with
a much smaller
Steven.
snake.
All right.
So, but yeah, that's been that was my week. Is just all sorts of weird stuff happening.
Okay, that's probably enough.
Just
all right. I don't want to hear about Wednesday. No. So that's fine.
Weird week. Almost lost my house to a fire.
Yeah.
At 4:30 in the morning.
Well, that's not I would say that's not the weird part, but okay. Tonight, now, as advertised, we have a game, an excellent game. We're going to play for you, where Steven will be guessing these items. It's called Guess My Donkey's Birthday. Guys, play the theme song. Oh, we don't have a band anymore. Guess My Donkey's Birthday. Here's the wonderful graphic. Oh, we got music.
No, this one's probably better. No, these are all terrible.
And a good donkey song.
There it is.
Oh, is that it? That's the one we used for. We used that for something already.
I'm sure we have.
Not very donkey-ish. Okay, so we will present. We have what has happened is we have had dedicated donkey owners from across the country who are fans of the show send in little factoid sheets about their beloved donkeys, and using the clues presented on these factoid sheets that have been submitted, Stephen will attempt to guess each donkey's birthday. So, Stephen, can you present the first donkey, please? I will read the clue. Here we go. This is the first donkey. Its name is Rodmikas. Rodmikas' favorite song is "They Are Night Zombies. They Are Neighbors. They Have Come Back from the Dead." Ah, by Sufjan Stevens. And Rodmikas' favorite food is milk-soaked toast. He ironically votes Republican. Can you guess this donkey's birthday? The choices are A, November 14th, B, August 6th, or C, January 15th. Using those clues.
I'm going to go with August 6th.
All right, let's see. And this donkey's birthday is
November 14th.
Yeah.
Mm.
Same birthday as me. Shares my birthday. All right.
Okay.
Let's see the next donkey. So you're 0 for 1. Donkey facts. This donkey's name is Regular BM. Its favorite song is Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers.
Oh, my donkey.
No, don't sing it. You can't sing it.
I can sing donkey.
Its favorite food is pickled pig's feet. And he has a twin sister. Is Regular BM's birthday June 16th, July 23rd, or August 17th?
I have found, so one of the things that we have learned from taking care of animals, cows and whatnot, all herbivores are opportunistic carnivores. So like,
yes, I know that. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like I had heard it before, but then I see it in action. There's no such thing as
an herbivore.
Right. Yeah, that's in vegans are even not true. I'm gonna say August 17th.
All right, let's see. What is this donkey's birthday? No, 0 for 2. July 23rd. All right, you still have some opportunities here. This is Don Quixote. Don Quixote's favorite song is The Monster Mash by Don Henson and the Rigamorticians. His favorite food is a meatball hero. He is afraid of heights, mice, and Websters. Oh, so am I. Stephen, can you guess this donkey's birthday? Is it February 7th, March 28th, or December 21st? Some good clues here. I think should point you in the right direction. Maybe you'll get this one.
December 21st.
Let's see. What is this donkey's birthday? Yes, very good. See, I knew those clues would help you out. Good donkey facts there, pointing to the correct birthday. So you are now 1 for 2. Let's see the next donkey. Oh, this is Jimmy, Durante, Stewart, Kimmel, Fallon, Dean, Buffett, Hoffa, Crapcorn, and I Don't Care. And her favorite song is Daytime Friends by Kenny Rogers. Her favorite food, I think this is a girl, if I remember correctly, speaking to the owner. Her favorite food is pumpkin pie. And, see, I was right. And she only answers to the name Stacy. Is this donkey's birthday November 25th? Or maybe it's confused. It could be one of those. It could be like a donkey gender. November 25th, August 6th, or January 15th. Stephen, what do you say is this donkey's birthday?
November 25th.
Okay, let's see. What is this donkey's birthday? No! Oh, you were doing so well.
I know.
August 6th, obviously. Pumpkin pie. All right. Let's see the next. I think there are several more. This is Fresca. Fresca's favorite song is Copacabana by Barry Manilow. Oh, good choice. Fresca's favorite food is instant grits, so obviously not from the South, where instant grits are outlawed. Oh, and poor Fresca suffers from severe dandruff. Stephen, is Fresca's birthday September 8th, October 31st, or April 2nd? Stephen, guess that donkey's birthday.
September 8th.
All right, let's see. What is this donkey's? Hey, you
2
are
for 3.
two for three.
Two,
Doing better.
3. Two out of 5, but yeah.
You got 2 out of 5. Yeah. All right, let's see. Next donkey.
Oh, that's a baby
Oh,
donkey.
it's Georgie, little baby Georgie. Georgie's favorite song is Shake It Off by Taylor Swift. Well, they'll grow out of it. Georgie's favorite food is a California roll with a side of spicy mayo. Oh, I enjoy that myself. Georgie has never been to the Grand Canyon. Is Georgie's birthday December 11th, April 18th, or January 27th? Steven, guess that donkey's birthday.
April 18th.
Okay, what is that donkey's birthday? Hey, look, you're on a roll now.
Yeah.
Steven is on a roll to win the big cash prize.
So 3 to 3. 3 on and 3 off.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. This is Pellegringo. Pellegringo's favorite song is You All Everybody by Drive Shaft. Pellegringo's favorite food is fish stew. Ooh, Pellegringo, no. Pellegringo drinks rainwater and liquid death. I don't know if that is a brand. I don't know if we could say that. But it's a donkey fact. What are you going to do? Steven, using these excellent donkey facts, is Pellegringo's birthday November 14th again, August 6th, or January 15th? Steven, what is this donkey's birthday? Guess this donkey's birthday.
I know. I'm very close. I'm going to say January 15th.
All right, let's see. What is this donkey's birthday?
Oh.
August 6th. I think we have two more. Is it 2 more? We'll see. There's a couple more, I think. This is Arthur Darkman. Arthur Darkman's favorite song is Money, Money, Money by ABBA. You might say ABBA. Depends where you're from. Arthur Darkman's favorite food is gefilte fish. Oh, no, Arthur Darkman. Arthur Darkman is Jewish.
He might
And
not
Arthur
be.
Arthur Darkman likes to dig tunnels. Well, no comment. Steven, is Arthur Darkman's birthday November 30th, February 13th, or May 24th? Steven, guess that donkey's birthday.
May 24th.
All right, what is that donkey's birthday? Oh, you were doing so well, Steven.
I know.
You were doing so well. What has happened? This may be the last one coming up.
That's the last donkey.
That was the last donkey?
That's the last donkey.
Oh, Steven, I'm sorry. You did not win the big cash prize. You've gone out on a losing streak. Well, we'll try again next time. Thank you to everyone who submitted their donkeys for Guess My Donkey's Birthday. We were so happy to play. And yeah, unfortunately, Steven did not win the big cash prize, but we will put it into the pot. And next time we play, the prize will have increased. Okay. Well,
our guest is kind of here.
Our guest is getting ready. Our guest is
sideways.
Sideways. But, you know.
I'm gonna add him to the stage.
Sure. Oh, no. Okay.
Oh, hello. Oh, he's moving his camera around. We can hear.
Hello. Oh, there he is. All right. We've got it.
All right. Hey, you guys. Still getting myself framed up a little bit here.
I don't know if you know this, but Chris actually lives in Ontario, Canada, which is why it's so bright and sunny right now.
Oh, that would make sense.
We're so far close to the north that we have 24-hour daylight, which helps us prepare for the impending invasion by you wacky Americans. No, I'm actually in California, where the sun never sets.
I was trying not to dox you, my friend, by giving false information, so that would send all of your enemies over the border.
Everyone knows OANN shoots in sunny San Diego, so they at least know an approximate location. Though, you know, I see those guys online, and you give them just the smallest little picture, and they're able to find all sorts of stuff. They're able to hunt down exactly where you're. So I'm hoping that this tree is generic enough where someone won't be able to hunt me down and send a SWAT team after me or whatever it is the kids like to do to mess with people these days. So I guess only time will tell, right?
They do that all the time on it's 4chan that does it. They can find anybody unless their name is Epstein, and then they can't find them.
Well, we all know where Epstein is.
Do we? Do we?
Yeah.
Do we
Yeah,
though?
see there. Okay.
Why?
We
Because
don't
Dan Bongino told you?
know because Chris Boyle said so.
Hey, you know what? I will believe Dan when I see the paperwork, right? What is that Ronnie used to say? Trust but verify.
Yep.
Good old Ronnie McDonald.
Yeah,
Ronnie
yeah.
McDonald. Yeah.
He knew his way around a secret sauce or two. I'm sure he could find the Epstein secret.
That's
Mm.
true. That is true.
We have now been flagged for offensive content.
We're bringing up Ronald McDonald.
Look, guys, am I properly framed here? Am I up to snuff for your guys' show? Is your audience going
Yes.
to
Chris,
get
take.
angry?
I want you to take a look at the two of us,
Not
and then
enough
ask yourself
here. Like there's
if
not
you
enough.
think you're doing well.
I don't know if you noticed this. Chris has nothing but headroom right now.
Yeah.
Not Chris Boyle, Chris Lawrence. Oh, this is going to be difficult because there's two Chris's.
Yeah, you do have a little bit of headroom there. You do.
Yeah,
And me-
I don't know what happened.
A bit of max.
I'm
headroom.
actually much bigger than Steven, but I appear to be a midget. Oh, can you say midget? We can't say midget.
I don't like being higher than you guys because I'm the guest and you guys are the hosts. So
Well, I told Steven this some weeks ago. I said I'm the kindest, most humble of any host because usually, I think it was Letterman maybe that began the tradition. The host chair is always higher than the guest, but Steven's always higher than me.
It's supposed to be like the Egyptian hieroglyphics. The pharaoh is the biggest and tallest, and then all the way down. And I'm like the little visiting dignitary, so I should be.
See, I think that's wrong. I think the guest is the most important. We're here every week.
Oh yeah, I'll straighten up. I'll give the people what they.
I just want to at some point get Chris. We need to get a screenshot of this. We're both. Chris Boyle and I are monsters on the screen, and you, sir, are just so small.
I'm just eating up the frame.
Eat up the frame.
It'd be good if I could get into your frame a little and just kind of get crushing your head. I'm crushing it. I can do it from here, but I can't break the fourth wall. I don't have those Deadpool abilities yet.
Yet. Well, next time
I'm not ruling anything out, right? I mean,
next time we'll all
script forward.
Next time we'll all show up at your house and we'll have like one big grouping together.
Well, we know where he lives now, so we can do that.
Yeah,
I got my people. My people are working on it, so don't worry.
So, Chris, I need to ask you. We were discussing the most important story of the day before you came on, and that is: have you been made aware, as I unwittingly have, unfortunately, of Bathwater Gate?
I don't know if it's a gate.
It's a gate.
Is there an update on the Bathwater? So I'm aware of the original story, and I mean, I hate the fact that I actually know Bathwater Girl's name, but it was a
that's the old one.
Being generous here, content creator by the name of Belle Delphine or something like that.
That's old school. Yeah, that's the old
school. So it's a new. So I'm aging
Chris,
myself.
I hate to tell you this. Yeah, I'm familiar with that also, unfortunately, because of the scourge of social media.
Level.
This is now normie level. Yeah. Because what they've done is they've mainstreamed it. Are you familiar with, and I'm going to use the terms loosely again, this actress lady named Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah. Okay. She's the one.
Don't get too excited.
I don't know anything I've seen her in, but I know that everyone online talks about her breasts all the time.
He said it.
Big thing, and
he said the $10,000 word.
Yeah, I think they said like Sydney Sweeney's breasts are gonna save America, and like I saw all this stuff about her breasts.
Here's how old I am. Here's how old I am. That used to be Kate Upton.
Kate Upton. I remember hearing her name, but I'm telling I couldn't even picture what she. I know who Sydney Sweeney is. I could picture her in my head. I don't know who Kate Upton is. That sounds like when I think Kate Upton, I think about the handbag lady who killed herself, but that's a different person.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
That's Kate Spade, but I always get the two confused.
Oh, I didn't know
because I've never seen.
She unalived herself.
Oh yeah. I'm not. Oh yeah, I messed up your guys' entire algorithm.
Chris, nobody watches this. It's fine.
See,
I did not know that happened.
I can say things like that, and we're streaming, so we're not affected by the algorithm, which is great. But yeah,
well, that's why we want to get that kind of deal because we can't say anything. It's so stupid. Okay, not to segue into this now, but every time I watch YouTube, I was watching. You know that podcast? It's literally called Whatever.
Yeah. With
Okay.
it's like the OnlyFans girls, and they take like the dumbest only. I mean, I'm sure there has to be a couple of smart ones, but they take the dumbest OnlyFans girl they could
They,
find,
they,
and they like
they
berate them for an hour.
yeah, they've done that frequently, but I don't watch those. I tend to watch the ones. There's a guy named Andrew Wilson who's a very, very excellent debater, and he debates against feminism largely. He's very much against feminism and the matriarchy and all this stuff. But I was watching an episode with him, and they're having like serious intellectual discussions about very, very heady topics, right? But they have to like censor every other word. They can't say hardly anything because it's on YouTube. No matter the in context, completely irrelevant, right? So it doesn't matter what the subject matter is, what the focus of the debate is. You can't. So they're in the middle of like an incredibly intellectual debate, and they have to start using terms like unalive themselves. Well, you sound retarded, but they can't do anything about it because they're under the restrictions of the old YouTube. So we find ourselves in the same predicament. Once in a while, believe it or not, I do like to have an intelligent discussion on the show, but I find I have to censor myself because if we ever do want to gain an audience, YouTube will say, no, because that one time you said fag on the, oh, see, I said it. And now you're demonetized. You know? It's ridiculous. But why did I start talking about, okay, right, Sydney Sweeney. So, okay. What they've done, Chris, I hate to inform you, but if I have to know about it, you do too. There's a company, are you familiar with Dr. Squatch?
Yes, they sell manly themed soap bars, which
Allegedly.
honestly thought the manliest themed soap bar was just grabbing whatever is on the shelf that your wife
Right.
bought for you and using that and not really paying attention. But I
It's
guess
the old
like the
bottle of
the
Pert
gun
Plus.
barrel and you know whatever bourbon. It's like that's what it is. Like it's always like the guns and bourbon soap, so I could go to work smelling like an alcoholic who just got back from the shooting range. Like that's
Meanwhile,
the soap that I want to wash myself. No, those are the smells I wash off my body. Thank you very much. If I wanted to smell like that, I just wouldn't do anything.
Meanwhile, the number one place you can buy Dr. Squatch is Target. The last place you'd find guns or bourbon or anything manly, right? So anyway, what they've done now is they've taken the old Sydney Sweeney there and stuck her in a bathtub, and filmed a commercial of her in a bathtub, right? Okay, so far, fine. I'm not fine, but you know what I mean. That you could expect that.
She was the one in that the Big Short, right? She did the bathtub scene where she's talking about
no idea.
Something, right?
I haven't watched the movie made after 1950 in a long time, for my own personal sanity. So I don't know, but maybe it sounds like something she would do. Usually, the only place I see her is because Instagram likes to try to force bimbo-y reels on me. Like my whole actual feed is like creative stuff, Catholic stuff, and then like if you get to the recommended reels, it's all like bimbo-y bimbos. So yeah, I don't know what she's done.
If I told you what comes up on my recommended reels, then I would probably get put in wherever, whatever place they put people that watch the things that you're not supposed to watch on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
I've been hearing a lot of Kanye music. Let me put it that way.
Wait, they allow that on there? I would have thought for sure it was scrubbed.
The accounts that get recommended for me, for some reason, rarely stay up for longer than 24 hours. I don't know why.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, Steven, he was telling me about how the Holocaust didn't exist last week.
Nope, I did not say that.
I was going to talk about that.
No, did not.
He said something about he doesn't believe the Holocaust, and he doesn't believe in black people.
That's not even.
But I said that's just when you live in the middle of Arizona on a farm. I said I'm in Texas. There's plenty. I'll show you black people. I mean, they exist. It's not like a myth. But he insists. He's like, I've never seen
Arizona.
one.
I don't know.
He thinks Cosby Show was like CGI. He's got a lot of weird theories. He doesn't believe in black people. He said, "Well, okay.
That's not true.
I don't have that luxury, Stephen. I see them every day. By the shipful, the boatful. Well, that's probably not the best term.
Oh no! Stop! You're causing problems.
Anyway,
I like that we're both simultaneously doing the same motion here. This is a universal. This is a universal symbol. It's one step away. It's the inverse Elon. Instead of putting it out, we're bringing it in.
He acts offended, but in the meantime, next week he's going to a thing that's literally called a deviant convention.
It's not. It's developer convention. DevCon.
He says I'm going to the deviants and convicts meeting.
Nope.
I would definitely, if you book the hotel for DevCon, I would triple check to make
Oh,
sure
do you
that
know
you're
about
picking
this?
up at the correct hotel, because
so
this
you
sounds
know
like
about
a
this too.
situation that could quickly go wrong.
You know about this Deviant convention also? Am I the only one that doesn't know about the Deviant convention? He had to
That's
explain to me.
deviant.
2 weeks ago, he was explaining to me about being a furry, right? I'm
No,
still trying to get my head around that.
no, I know.
Now
I'm
he's
not.
got to tell me the new thing is the Deviant and Convict convention. He says it's, and then he tells me, he said, "Well, I'm not technically a furry." This is what he says. He says, "Because my costume is a beekeeper, and
No,
I chase the little minxes that are dressed as bees
that's not
around the hotel."
even a thing I said.
That's his role. You can. It's in the archives. You can go back and see the episode.
Well, the
Yep.
developers,
And I try to be inclusive, Chris. You know, I don't judge.
Well, the developer, I'm willing to guess that there's a significant crossover, because what I see, again, I don't know why these things pop up for me. I don't know why. Maybe we need to shut down my FYP until we figure it out. But I've seen these furries pop up, and they got cash, dude. Like, those suits aren't cheap. They put a lot of money into them. They have like internal cooling units. They got fans.
That's what he
on them
told
in
me.
there, and
That's
like,
exactly.
haptics connected to their bodies.
That's exactly.
They feel it when someone is rubbing up on them or whatever. They
See?
feel the petting. These guys are all like computer engineers, and they're all working at like Palantir and stuff. And it freaks me out. Like, seriously, they're like Iron Man. That's the reality. Tony Stark would never have existed because he would have been a furry, and the Iron Man suit would have been some sort of covered pleasure device.
Yeah, because he's a pervert too. Chris, I feel like you must have seen the show, because this is exactly what I said. He was telling me there's some kind of tube system that runs up his pants.
I did not say.
And like, yeah, all this crazy stuff. I couldn't believe it. And you know, it's hard because I'm trying to learn. You know, I don't know about these things. This is outside of my wheelhouse. But he's my co-host. He's my friend. You know, so I want to be accepting. It was disgusting and crass and perverse as it is, right? I don't want to tell him that. But then he acts offended if I say whatever I said. The most innocuous thing.
Some hobbies are meant to be shared, and some aren't.
My camera has disappeared. Talk amongst yourselves.
I think you disappeared, because I can see your background. It's almost like you were eaten up, like you got vanished off into the cornfield, into the furry field.
I'm like David Copperfield. Oh, there I am. Well, some weeks I try to disappear. I have a blue screen behind me, right? So I have purchased several blue turtlenecks, the same color as the blue screen, with the intention of being a floating head on here. But it doesn't work. It's very disappointing. And Steven told me the technology is too advanced now. It picks up my face.
It will always pick up your face.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to move more, move less. Yes, so the bathwater. So they're.
Oh yeah, the bathwater. Yeah.
They're gonna sell this bath.
No.
Here's my question for you, because I haven't seen this advertisement. Because at least when and I think Belle Delphine was before OnlyFans even existed. I'm not really sure. You know, I'm not a what do you call that? A pro
connoisseur.
Connoisseur. That's the word I'm looking for. Connoisseur of OnlyFans. I'm not a procurer of OnlyFans.
No.
Content, but. That said, she at least purported to sell bathwater that she had actually bathed in. I don't know for how long she was actually in there, but at least she dipped into the tub, right?
Yeah.
Is this real? Not asking for myself, just asking out of pure professional curiosity.
For a friend,
is this real Sydney Sweeney bathwater? Is this simply water with the Sydney Sweeney bathwater brand attached to it?
Well, without the DNA testing, I don't think we'll ever know. But what they're doing is they shot a commercial with her in the bath. Now, the state of undress is undetermined. So I don't know. She may have had a bikini in there. I don't know. But what they're doing is they're sticking a drop in a bar of soap, and they're doing like 10,000 or something, and they're raffling them off. And they put I only know about it because Chris, are you familiar with Van Man?
Yes, I am familiar with Van Man.
So Van Man is a
Squatch. They're a Squatch
predator. Right, but he has ethics. So he's a friend of the show, the Van Man, right?
Okay.
So he put out the tweet today saying, "Look what these dirty perverts are doing with their soap." Right? I'm not gonna do that. I'm Van Man. I'm not perv man. So I saw it. It's a drop. There's one drop in each bar. 10,000. I think 10,000 bars that'll be raffled off, and then they said like, "Well, we'll have extra and we'll sell them after that." Now, this is peak perversity, isn't it? Like, because it's not. It's moved from what you referenced, the Belle Delphine thing, which was like niche internet weirdo stuff, and now it's the brand that you can get in Walmart. What is happening?
Gosh, I mean, I have so many complicated feelings about this. Number one,
You realize that that's half a liter.
I remember if you wanted to see something untoward, all those magazines were in black plastic bags behind the counter, and you had to be bold enough of a pervert to go and ask the clerk for them, right? Give me the dirty booby thing back there. Here's my credit card, right? Now, well, you got soap in the Target with booby butt water in it. Who wants? I don't want that. Maybe Steven does, but I don't want that.
I have to say, I've been the least vulgar in this whole conversation. So
We're saving it for your convention.
yeah, I imagine you're saving them all up. You can only do so many per episode. So as an ender, you're just gonna give us like a version of the Aristocrats and see us off for the night.
No!
the
Oh,
aristocrats.
heavens, no!
This smells really good.
He's got a weed pipe there.
No, it's a chocolate. It's like a creme
Ooh,
brulee.
you're taking that
chocolate.
Arizona thing very seriously.
He is, yeah.
No, it's from
Then he's got-
our friend,
Chris, then
a
he's
friend
got-
of the show.
He's got the nerve to brand himself as Catholic comedy.
A friend. I think these days they don't call it a friend anymore. They call it a plug, right? Plug is the word.
It's not a plug. He doesn't pay us any money. I just genuinely love the product. He's not a sponsor. I'm just a fan.
He should be a sponsor for the amount of times he gets mentioned.
I think most people are a fan of their plug as well.
It's not a plug. I get nothing out of this other than like he made a pipe with my Catholic comedy logo on it.
Oh,
so.
look at that!
Oh, that's beautiful. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous.
Very nice.
I know.
Look at that. So I gotta wonder, how many of these people, and this is me being like gracious and giving folks the benefit of the doubt. I think the Belle Delphine people, a lot of them probably were weirdos. I think some of these might be novelty purchasers, Spencer's type buyers, someone who gets the bar of soap and puts it on a shelf and laughs about it, takes it down from time to time, takes it off the mantle and dusts it off when they have company in the parlor and tells a story about that one crazy purchase that one time. But, even if that were true for the majority of buyers, you have to think there's at least one or two weirdos out there that are going to take the thing, unwrap it, give it a good long sniff, really bury their nose in there.
This is what I said.
And then take it into the shower and go to town.
That's what I said. See?
The fact that Sydney Sweeney knows of this non-zero possibility and is willing to put a piece of her body, essentially like this is a very intimate moment, obviously, put that out there is very, very strange and, gives off it. Like, I get there's always been that kind of line between, the professional actor and actress versus the dime store novel actor and actress who's doing, more body work and, the stage entertainer and the stripper and down to the prostitute. And the Romans always viewed, performers in the same light as they did prostitutes. But that said, just because you show your boobies in a movie doesn't mean you got to sell everyone a whiff of them.
Well, my understanding, it's like every one of her movies. That's why they hire her. But at some point, I don't know. I was going to say she'll want to get married, but maybe not. These Hollywood people, they get married and divorced like Steven eats rice crackers.
I don't have any Mars crackers.
Well,
I mean, it's hard to fit two people into a bathtub. Trust me, I've tried many a time, and it's not as romantic as the movies make it out to be. And the water doesn't come out as fresh either.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we were talking about the baby with the bathwater, saying where that came from, and Steven didn't believe me. But listen, Chris, it is true. Is there not now a governmental precedent set for this kind of behavior? Because we got old crazy pants Nancy Mace showing her nude photos in the Congress, right? And Trump said, I need to go to the congressional meeting, move all my meetings. There's nothing more important than supporting Nancy and seeing her hearing her testimony. Huge, very big.
Well, it was the same day that he made his announcement about the Golden Dome. So
he made it about what?
The Golden Dome. You didn't see that announcement? He's going to build a big, beautiful Golden Dome. Seeing that congressional testimony,
Oh,
apparently,
yes.
I don't know if it was direct inspiration, but now he's raising up a large Golden Dome
He's
over the
gonna
United
build a
States, protecting
pair
it.
of domes. Yeah, a big pair of domes. I don't know. It's very
Well, they
strange.
have the Iron
Very
Dome
strange.
over in Israel, so they have the Golden Dome here in America. It's some say it's a
Well,
problem
you
that
would
might
think,
be a little lopsided in size. One
yeah.
slightly larger than the other. But many have countered, no, that's how these domes often come.
Well, Chris, you would think theirs would be gold, right? If anybody's dome is going to be gold.
Yeah. It was a real blow when Trump gave him that one. When he sold him, ours is going to be gold.
No, I mean, I know he's got the Trump Hotel and he's always got gold fixtures, but if anybody historically has a market on the gold, them, well, not you, them over there, right?
Them over there, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I'll take a little. I'm actually going to be going up on a camping trip to the Sierra Nevadas, leaving tomorrow morning, and I'm bringing a gold pan. And I might not come back. I might strike it rich. Not come back because I got eaten by bears, obviously. But I might become a wealthy mountaineer in the next couple of days. So you might not be able to see me. This might be my last appearance until I'm a very, very wealthy man.
Oh, Timothy Treadwell eaten by bears.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
The documentary Grizzly Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He was very friendly with the bears until they got
too friendly.
Too friendly.
Bear gets hungry. Well, there's a saying. There's the saying is if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, lay down. If it's white, say goodnight. Because you can fight back against a black bear. A brown bear, you play dead. If it's a polar bear, it's just going to eat you.
See, that's funny. White, you're out of. It's like the opposite here for human beings, though.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's the exact opposite. The darker, the more dangerous in the person's sense. But in the bear sense, that's a good way to remember. Just think of the reverse of humanity for bears.
Flip it right on its head.
Flip it right around, and you'll be good. I tried to, see? He gets it, Steven. Why are you so defensive about it? I can't talk about anything without him shaking his head over there. It's just common sense.
I mean, I'm just trying to remember these things for my own safety.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be safe.
In the wilderness, I mean. In the wilderness.
Right. I think he gets bothered because he conflates like furry animal people with the real animals. So he doesn't want to like put a stigma out there that the people that wear the brown bear suits are dangerous and the white ones, I don't know what he thinks.
Well, that must be difficult for the furries. Is there like a PETA crossover? Do they feel bad about wearing the fur and loving the animals? Because usually the people who love the animals don't wear the fur.
Right, exactly. Is it? But I think like they probably feel like they're trying to raise awareness, because I kept saying furry and he's like getting bothered. He's doing like what he's doing now. So I said, oh, maybe is that a derogatory term? Is it like animal sympathetic? What do you? And then he told me that he said this they're not called. He said the suit is called, that's their fur dentity. He says
fur dentity.
I've
heard fursona before. I've heard the term.
Yes, that too.
Fursona.
That is also acceptable from what I'm told.
Fursona
and fur dentity are acceptable.
So it's like a werewolf with a backstory.
Right. Oh, you know what? I never asked this. Do you have to craft a backstory, Steven, for your thing?
I imagine that's a big part of it, right? Like as you're doing the suits, you like get to think of intricacies of the character.
This is real.
It's like Dungeons and Dragons, but
or like Stanislavski. It's like method acting stuff.
Yeah.
Because I did ask him.
When you think about it that way, it's actually extremely respectable. It's like an art.
But they don't eat what their actual animal personas eat. Like they just eat like pizza and like spicy Cheetos.
Well, I've never seen a furry kill another furry and devour it, but I do think that
I'm sure it happens.
Sub fetish for that.
I'm sure it happens. Yeah. Oh, that is a thing. There's a thing where I hate the internet because I got to know all this stuff where people like to pretend that like a giant person is going to eat them.
And it's usually swallowed whole. They're called vores. Again,
okay.
Something that comes up on my FYP. I don't know why. It's. I think the phone is evil. Honestly, the Aztecs used black mirrors to talk to demons, and John D. Queen Elizabeth Sorcerer used one of those to help overthrow the great Spanish Empire, Spain pilled for life. But I honestly think the phone's the devil, because it's showing me these furries, and they want to eat each other whole and
Yep.
then be digested within the stomach of the other
Mhm.
one, usually very large, almost pregnant looking, and it's very strange. And I can't pretend to understand it. I feel like they need a hug, and that's what this is putting out there. I can
You know
only
what it
guess
is?
though, because I can't sympathize, and I certainly can't empathize.
You know what? Like you know what I believe? Like so many things, it's a perversion of the Bible, right? Jonah's in the big fish,
Oh,
symbolizing Christ 3 days in the tomb. Well, now
and
these
look
weirdos
of
are like,
more.
yeah. So they're like, well, the devil's like, well, but I make it a sex thing, because he likes to make everything a sex thing, the devil. And now it's some kind of dirty pervert thing. That's what I think.
Lighting a fire in the belly of the whale, like Pinocchio. He's lighting a fire in their pants to be
Yeah.
inside of an animal. This is terrible stuff.
It's terrible stuff. Well, there was that while we're on this, there was that saint that said, this was like hundreds of years ago, that said the devil's going to control the world with little black boxes in everyone's home. Well, it sounds like the damn phone to me, or the computer.
That sounds very true. That sounds very much like we're living today.
Yeah.
But here we are contributing. Here we are taking part. Here we are. But I mean, maybe this is like the Crusades, like cutting down Boniface, cutting down the tree, right?
Yeah. Well, I think about that a lot. Like, at what point are we complicit in all this? Like, if I go to Target because I need some socks, right? Well, now am I complicit in the fact that they sell underwear that makes you tuck your junk in?
Well, actually, I saw someone post something online the other day, and I didn't bust out my Bible, because I feel like there's a quotation somewhere, and the Protestants are going to jump on me. You don't know chapter and verse. I don't know, guys. I'd like to. No, I like knowing chapter and verse. I think that's cool. I'm impressed by knowing chapter and verse. I'm not going to front. But I saw someone put out this quiz or prompt or whatever on the X, and they said, if your neighbor, I think this is a Protestant who did it actually, if your neighbor had a pagan idol in their front yard, would it be biblically acceptable to go and smash the thing?
Yes.
And I was like, I don't, maybe. I mean, like it feels like there's examples to both direction. Like Boniface did, he went and cut down Donner's Oak, right? But at the same time, I feel like didn't Paul say something in Corinthians or something like, oh, don't cause offense to the pagans. Like we want to, I feel like there was something about that in there. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you guys going to go on your Hindu neighbor's Ganesh or something? Actually, no, I got a neighbor up the way. He's got some Buddhas. I don't think Buddha.
I was going to say, I kicked over a big Buddha statue one time, and
Buddha
got kicked right out of the Chinese restaurant. They don't even let me finish my egg roll. It turns out they frown on that.
They won't let you get away with it. They won't let you
know.
Well, because
usually
there'd be a fortune cookie in there that could have predicted that.
Well, they were they're preaching all this Zen nonsense, and then you kick over one statue, and all of a sudden they're very angry. Zen goes right out the window.
When I hear about that Zen stuff, it gets me deeply unsettled, deeply uneasy. Not at all at ease.
Yeah. I try to get Steven to stop doing yoga for the same reason, but he likes the way the pants feel.
Don't do that. It's not a thing.
Yoga's a thing.
I feel like that's why they invented the hot yoga, because it's like, oh, well, you're already going to do the yoga. You might as well know what hell feels like.
Well, he's used to being hot because of the furry suit, so that doesn't bother him.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's like in well, no, I mean, I
know
the
deterrent.
Nice ones have fans, they have cooling units, they have hydraulics, they have the whole shebang bang. It's again, it's as much a science as it is an art form.
That's true, but it seems like an awful waste of engineering degrees, doesn't it?
Well, it's a hobby for these guys. Again, it's like Batman. It's like Batman, except
don't get me started on that.
Dressing up like a bat and fighting crime, they're dressing up like a bat and fighting their repressed urges.
Well, I told Steven this too. I hate to keep rehashing stuff from old shows, but I said, because he likes the superheroes, he likes Disney. I said the idea of the superhero is an antichrist idea. It's Nietzsche's Übermensch. And the first superheroes, and the majority of them, were created by the tunnel people as a way to usurp the idea of God, right? You can be your own God. Superman, fly around, look at the ladies' underwear, do whatever you want. And now look, it's like the most popular thing in the world. Well, you look it up, I'm telling you.
I'm not gonna.
And look at Batman. Look, and Chris, look at Batman. What is Batman's message?
No, I'm not gonna
No,
say
wait.
it's a mosquito trying to mess with me. There's
What
so many
is-
mosquitoes out here.
What is
I'm not
Batman's message?
I'm not gonna let you slander
Oh, wait.
Superman. Batman maybe.
Yeah,
But
Batman's
Superman?
message is money solves everything. And
No.
where did Batman keep all his stuff? In a damn tunnel, in a cave.
No, the message of Batman is the more resources you give a good man, the more he'll just do fun stuff for the sake of doing fun stuff, like kicking people in the ribs and driving fast cars and building rockets in his garage because it's dope. Superman,
That
obviously.
sounds like Elon Musk. Uh-oh. Chris has overheated. We've overheated. Oh, there you go. He's back.
Here I am. It's Batman. He hit it with the Batarang. He knocked it out. Yeah, no, Batman's fantastic. I'm a fan of the Bat. I'm a fan of the Bat.
Even Green Lantern, right? So, Nietzsche's idea of will to power, right? Well, Green Lantern, the power is whatever your will manifests, you can have it. Well, this is New Age too. It's all occultist and tunnel people propaganda. I'm telling you, very bad.
Yeah, Green Lantern. He's a little. He's like a cop, right? Isn't that his whole shtick? He's basically like
he's like space police.
Yeah, he's like space police. Yeah, I don't know. That seems a little right wing coded to me. I can get down.
But it's all the manifestation of the will. The will.
He's got like a cool space baton, so he could take down alien Rodney King or whatever. He's got it's I can dig that.
And then Thor is a literal pagan god.
Yeah, he is.
A lot of problems with the superheroes.
You just jumped from DC to Marvel because you were
they're
talking DC.
They're all superheroes.
They are all superheroes. That is a good point.
They've had crossovers. I've read enough comics to know.
I got a lot of love for Superman. I'm hitting my microphone. Bad guest. No, I love Supes. I love Superman. He's a very, very Christ-like figure, but definitely not.
There's the idea.
Well, aren't we called to be more like Christ? I don't know. Does Jesus exist in the DC universe? Because I know he exists in the Marvel universe, right? Because I know that there's characters that are actually Catholic in that one. I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, but they're always like it's like the Punisher, who's a mass murderer, or Daredevil, who's a neurotic. These are the Catholics.
Well, there's also Nightcrawler, who is a
Nightcrawler, who's a big gay from the circus.
They got Nightcrawler. He's like an incel. Yeah, he gives off incel vibes.
Nightcrawler is a monk in an abbot. Yeah.
Oh, he's a Volcel then.
Well,
Okay, that's a totally different story. Totally different story. Yeah, all respect for the Volcels. Yeah, and then Wolverine, I think he converts at one point. So no, you got some good.
In the cartoon, which has been scrubbed. You can find it on YouTube.
Well, that's what I grew up on. That's the only thing. Whatever I grew up on is what's canon. Everything else is gibberish.
Yeah.
That's why at the end of the day, I am a Star Wars prequel respecter.
We're having a guy on in a couple weeks who calls himself the real life fake wizard. And he did a whole video about apparently this, and we'll go and talk to him about it. This new, they made a new Lilo and Stitch. Does my microphone sound funny?
Yeah.
Do I sound okay?
Sound fine to me.
I think we're getting feedback from Chris, but it's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. That's his fault then.
Oh.
But
I'll keep my microphone away from the speaker.
there's a new Lilo and Stitch, which apparently in the end the people like sell their kids to the government or something.
Yeah, I saw
So
that.
she can be a damn lawyer.
They put Lilo. Lilo's the little girl, right? They put her in foster
I think
care.
so. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so that the mom can be a lawyer or something. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Well, it's the older. It's the
Marine
older,
biologist, and it's an older
Okay,
sister.
what? That's better.
putting her in foster care is not really hot. That doesn't seem.
No,
Well, unless
no.
I mean, let me back that up. I haven't seen the movie. So I don't know what the foster care situation is. This could be like I don't know what like an Orphan Annie thing where she's because the mom's dead. I've seen the original
It's
movie.
like a reverse Orphan
I've
Annie.
seen the original movie. The mom, the dad, they're dead. I think they I don't know. They died on a Hawaiian roller coaster ride. They crashed their surfboard or whatever. So they're dead. They're at the bottom of the reef. It's her and the sister's like trying to go to school and trying to like do her own thing, and she's raising her little sister. Alien shows up. It's like ET with attitude. Wang bang, wang bang. It's a Disney movie, right? But here's the thing: if it's like a Orphan Annie situation where they meet a family who's like takes them in, and it's like the singing whoever's from the Sound of Music, and they all the Von Trapps, they all become a joyous happy family, and it builds toward that. That's one thing. But if at the end of the movie it's like, well, here you go, and they just send them off to someone who just entered stage right and has no previous relationship with the audience, that sounds really weird to me. That sounds really callous. That sounds like you're
it's the
disregarding the
former
relationship between characters.
The
But
former, not the
in
latter.
Orphan Annie, her parents are dead, and then the rich guy adopts her. Right? This is like the opposite of that. I think they're like selling her off.
They don't sell her.
Yeah.
They just get rid of her.
No, that's not good. Oh, so they don't even get anything.
Well,
for
if
it.
you're gonna get rid of her, you should at least get a good price.
At least get some money.
Ohana means government intervention. That's what it is now.
Yeah, so they're pushing for that. You know why? Because they're going
Ohana
to
means
ban
value,
homeschooling.
apparently.
It takes a village, they say. That's all they got there in Hawaii is villages.
Yeah, well, thanks to Trump, now we have the village people too.
Oh boy, yeah. And Lady MAGA.
You know that individual, he has disappeared. I have not seen Lady MAGA.
No, he said something like a week. I hadn't heard of him because it's a him. And no, well, he does, but he doesn't want to be a woman. He just wants to dress up, right?
Yeah,
it's so
that's his whole
confusing
thing.
these days.
He's like, yeah, no, I'm just a drag queen. Trannies aren't real. I'm like a dude in a dress, but
at that point, I mean, what side are you on? You're perpetuating that nonsense anyway, this fluidity. Steven, I think, needs to go. Is that true, Steven? Steven has to milk his cow every day at this time. And we usually only do the show for an hour, so we'll probably wrap the whole thing up soon. But I think Steven, we could finish this conversation if Steven needs to go.
I do. I will, but enjoy the rest of the conversation, and I'll be gone in the next 2 weeks. So
Steven will be gone the next 2 weeks, but please,
out running from Interpol after this conversation.
No, he's gonna be at the damn pervert thing.
At the, yes, at DeviantCon.
DeviantCon, yeah.
I've got to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
It was good to see you again, Steven. Adios.
Now I don't know what will happen here. This is untested waters. Oh, there he goes. Okay. Oh, we're fine. Okay.
All right.
So we could at least finish this segment of the conversation. I don't know what we were talking about. Oh, Lilo and Stitch. Well, I don't trust now that Steven's gone because he likes Disney. I don't trust Disney whatsoever for anything, and I have not in quite some time.
Yeah.
Because they seem to be anti-family. They love killing parents off. We know that. And they stick all kinds of pervy things in the cartoons.
I got such mixed feelings about Disney. I'm going to be completely honest with you, right? So right off the bat, I mean, the modern stuff sucks. Like, let's get that out of the way. Most of their modern products are really terrible. They're laden with bad messaging, yada, yada, yada. That said, for a long time, they've built, and as an entertainer, I can respect this, they built a reputation on putting a high focus on quality, right? And when I say quality, I don't necessarily mean moral quality, but I do mean quality of presentation. They put out, at least in some sense, a good product, something that had emotional impact, that looked good, that had, at least well-written characters. It's something, it was captivating. It was fun for the whole family, yada, yada, yada. I mean, you could say that about, plenty of movies, not just the ones like when I was a kid, right? Like The Lion King, obviously one of the best ones they've ever did. But even more modern than that, I'd say like Lilo and Stitch. I wasn't a kid when that came out. I was older, and I thought that was a decent movie. I've seen it with my kid. The original one. I don't know about this new one. What I will say, though, is that if you dig a little deeper, there is some weirdness to it, right? Like, Walt Disney was a Freemason, and like there's a lot of like, especially the really early Disney stuff, there's a lot of pagan imagery there. Like there's
Yes.
a
Oh,
lot
so
of pagan.
much. Yeah, tons of it.
It's like a ton, like a lot of it. Like, and speaking of like
Fantasia
that Nietzschean
is
thing, like that Nietzschean Ubermensch thing, like the superheroes, I feel a little bit like the St. George legend echoing through those archetypes, but with a lot of the Disney stuff, man, like they were really resurrecting pagan myths and putting them in kids' tales. And some of that like isn't necessarily bad. Like I love the idea of classical education, teaching your kids Greek myths and all that stuff. I don't think
oh
that's
yeah.
necessarily wrong. But the
No.
way that they were presented within Disney as like core to canon, I don't know. It was just, I don't know. There's something about it that gives me a little bit of a vibe where I feel like maybe the fruit that we're seeing today is actually just what came from that tree. You know what I mean?
I think it is. I think because there's been a divorce from, and Disney is famous for this, from perverting or removing the moral messages of the original fairy tales that so many of their films are based off of to suit the Disney agenda. I think that there's nothing better to read kids than like Hans Christian Andersen or Brothers Grimm. Like that stuff is, in fact, in the real Little Mermaid story, she makes a sacrifice and she gets taken to purgatory by angels. That's not in the Disney movie. No mention of it in the. It's not going to be either. But these are the kind of things that Disney removed from their films. Any idea of like self-sacrifice, usually any idea of a transcendent morality that isn't self-serving, right? So I don't trust them. And that goes back to the oldest. And yeah, if you look at Fantasia, it's rife with pagan imagery. I mean, you could say like, okay, the devil is very clearly the bad guy in that, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, but what's the answer? That witchcraft. That's better. So
yeah, I mean, I will say, going into Fantasia, like specifically, that's obviously one of their most pagan films because you have, like, you literally have, I think the one where that they display is the Feast of Dionysus, right? Where
yes.
they have Dionysus running around and Jove comes out, and they do kind of try to end on that Christian note where they have what is it Mount whatever, I forget what it's called, Mount something or other, and then you have the Ave Maria at the very end, and the film ends with the Ave Maria, which is, you know, at least they throw that in there. But I mean, you know, the idea, like I would say the Mickey's the Magician, it's kind of this weird imagery, and then even going back before then, like there's a handful of stories that they've done in the early days if you watch their Disney shorts that kind of have that vibe to it. And there's a lot of films that they have pagan deities, right? You look at like Moana, like Moana has Maui, that's explicitly a pagan deity. The second one has a lot of pagan things. My daughter watched, she's 6, and she's like, you know, I don't let her watch a lot of things, but she knows enough about, quite frankly, about pagan gods to tell me like, oh yeah, no, that one was a little too like glorifying the pagan deities. And I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, you know, human sacrifices were offered up to Maui, so not a good guy in the historical sense. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a Disney hater. Like, I'm a Disney, there's things I appreciate about them. Some of their movies are fantastic, I'll be honest with you. Some of them have great messaging. I think there's things in Snow White that are really good. I think they did a good job with that one.
That used to be my favorite when I was a kid, when I was really, really young. That was the one I really liked. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say that sounds dorky, but one of the ones that I like. So one of my favorites, and this is an underappreciated one, I love watching it with my kids. It gets a little pagan, but the Black Cauldron. It's just
sure, yeah.
It's a cool one. It's a really, really cool one. Another one though, and I'm outing myself as a bit of a dork.
Well,
here.
those are Christian books.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah, and
Those
I mean, again, it ends with the explicit
reading.
Self-sacrifice of Gurgi, like very.
Exactly, and it bombed.
Yeah, I did. I know, but I love it. You know what I mean?
No, I think that's a good one.
It's on the Plus, so we watch it here.
Well, it doesn't fit in the oeuvre, right? Like, it doesn't seem, you would almost be forgiven for thinking it wasn't Disney because it doesn't have a lot of their tropes. It doesn't have their look, really.
The look, yeah, it almost feels like it was made by the guys who did like the Last Unicorn or something like that.
Yes, exactly. It fits much more in line with that. It really does. So it's an outlier in that regard. But Disney, per Disney, is very pagan and very and now very gay.
Yeah. Well, it's always, and they always were trying to hint at that. Now they're open about it. Like, oh yeah, no, we always queer coded our characters, and it's like, yeah, no, we knew. You just tried to deny it them, but no, we knew.
Yeah.
At least back then, you had the humility to make them all the villain, but you know.
Oh yeah, different times now. I mean, look at what they've done with Marvel now. This is the reason that nobody likes all this Marvel stuff anymore. It's because they did the whole thing there.
It's
They
bad.
made it terrible. And Star Wars, they ruined that. You know, Star Wars is very interesting because Ryan Johnson seems like he can make movies, but when it comes to Star Wars, he's terrible. Now, that makes me think one or two things. He's retarded about Star Wars for some reason, specifically, uniquely. Or behind the scenes, they told him, this is the direction we want to go. If you want this Star Wars money to make your next 5, whatever you really want to make, you'll toe the line.
No, look at
Now,
what they did with the
both
Mandalorian. I mean, after that, like,
Oh,
if anyone on the right kept watching after, and not just Gina Carano, but the way they retooled the plot line of the entire series
it's terrible.
yeah, no, they did. The first season was sick. And I'm like, oh,
Awesome.
this is like kind of a cool show. Maybe I could watch this. And then it's like, oh no. They're giving
No.
you a big middle finger. It's like when they raped the Joker. You know what I mean? Like they
Right,
just hate
it's the
you.
same thing.
Like, the
That's
bottom line
exactly
is
what they
just
do.
hate you.
That's exactly what they do. And it's funny. I always come back to there's this thing that's a real touchstone for me about this, the way that they'll use messaging and encode stuff. And it's a little bit conspiratorial, but there was a video online some years ago. And I don't mean many. I mean, I'm talking 3 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, tops, of this guy who was a contestant, a winner on I always get the show wrong, but it was Australia's version of either America's Got Talent, so it was like Australia's Got Talent, or it was like Australian Idol. It was one of those two, right? And this guy put out a 5-hour-long video on YouTube, quote unquote, exposing Freemasonry. Did you ever see this?
No, I did not.
It's
No.
5 hours.
Is this the guy who went undercover and like videotaped their
No,
rituals?
no. He was a winner of Australian Idol. You know, like American Idol, but for Australia. He won. I can't remember his name, but he won that, and then he disappeared for a little while, and he resurfaced with this video talking about all the things he learned rising up the ranks in Freemasonry, being a big celebrity.
Oh, that's weird.
Showing all the pictures of all the symbolism, telling us how, you know, the black and white checkerboard and the one hand covering one eye and all these different things point, and the inverted triangle, all these things point to Freemasonry. He spends hours really drilling that into your head, right?
Yeah.
But then if you look at the video, he's constantly got his hair falling over one eye. He's only got one side pulled back. So his one eye is constantly. Now, he's just spent 3 hours telling you that if somebody famous is covering one eye, they're Freemason imagery.
Well, but look
He's
at how
got
that shadow's falling on your face right now. I only see one eye. He turns his face suddenly now as he's explaining it. Only one eye was exposed, though.
But there's more. He's got checkerboard on the curtain behind him in the room. After he's told us the checkerboard flooring is in all the Freemason lodges. He's got an upside down triangle on his necklace after he's told us that the pyramid is a big thing in Freemasonry. So I feel like this is what they do is, and he also spends the whole video, he wraps up the video, not by saying, because he's like saying like, oh, I'm a Christian now and everything. But at the end of the video, the message that he leaves you with is basically like, you can't do anything about it. They're too powerful. They're going to take over everything. They already own everything. You can't do anything about it. Oh, by the way, believe in Jesus, right? So I feel like this is what they do. They code these messages, and when they're brazen about it, it's priming you for what's coming. Like, they want you to know this is what we're going to do. You've now been conditioned to normalize it and accept it. When it happens, you won't revolt against it. And I think that's what goes on in a lot of these movies too. They'll put something, or they'll hide the truth as like the villain is the guy telling you the truth, right? So they did that with the Joker movie. I remember everybody got so hyped up about the Joker movie, and I was like, this is not going to end well. There's no way that mainstream Hollywood and a lunatic like Joaquin Phoenix is making a film coded for all the incels and the groypers. And I remember Nick Fuentes losing his mind how much he loved the Joker movie. This is one for us, blah, 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 blah. Okay, Joker 2 comes out, and what do? They throw the whole thing under the bus, right? It was a big middle finger to all those people that bought into the supposed messaging of the Joker movie. But why are people so fooled? Like, it's Hollywood. What are they thinking? Hollywood suddenly had an about face? Of course not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what people are thinking when they see something like that, I feel like hope springs eternal sometimes, and there's this idea that maybe they woke up and maybe they're realizing, or maybe there's just enough financial pressure. I'm not really sure what gets into people's heads when they see something like that, because I'm very rarely hopeful that big Hollywood is going to do something except for what they see as financially interesting, right? Like
Right.
Netflix started producing more Christian content. Good. Not all of it is great. I think stuff that they buy from people who are Christians, who are producing it from outside, that's better. I don't think they're going to produce something good from inside, but I don't,
Yeah.
I don't see their motives necessarily as pure.
No.
That said, some of these guys, when they outright hate you, they're willing to take the loss. Like everyone, the woke
Yes.
stuff, that wasn't, some of them did it because they thought they were going to make money, but some of these guys, they just did it because they hate you. They just did it because they hate you. They don't like you. They want to see you suffer.
Very big right now, Chris, and I don't know if you're a gamer at all, but in the mainstream video game world, these big, what they call the AAA studios, they keep having failure after failure due to forcing this DEI stuff on people, but they don't back down on it. Nobody wants it. The games crash and burn, but because it's about the message more than the money, they keep
So
doing it.
I'm going to be a little charitable here really quick. What I'm going to say is, what I also think is, and this is me speaking as a Californian, right? There's a lot of people out here who, they're able to live in an echo chamber. And the reality is that, like, I feel that when you get people that think they're educated, when they're credentialed, the credential classes I often like to call them, they legitimately think that, that they're uniquely qualified to tell people what to think. And I think that, if you feel a certain way, like, I think they legitimately believe a lot of this stuff. If you're this, this gay person, this tranny, this big fat, obese, like, pimple scarred, ugly, sweating, multiracial, black, trans, disabled person who wants to get into video games, and you feel like you've been marginalized because nobody wants to play a character that's the slovenly beast, and you're bummed out about it, and you get into gaming and you think like, oh, shit, if I felt this way my entire life, if this is how I felt, and I felt so passionately about this, then there has to be people like me out there, like,
Yeah.
and I look around and, like, let's be real, like, there's plenty of ugly people in the world, like, not everyone's beautiful. Look at me, so you look around
Right
and
here.
there's plenty of ugly folks, and you think like, okay, these ugly bastards, these hideous, slovenly, disgusting Walmart people like myself, and they just surround themselves. Walmart people are actually attractive compared to the left, and these people, no, they are. Walmart is classed up since these people are, but
Yeah,
now it's
they had a
hard
glow
to
up.
out for. But no, here's the thing. I feel like they feel this way, and all of their friends are like this. If you go to Disneyland, right? I've been to Disneyland. I live in Southern California. I've taken my kids there. They go in packs. It's
Yeah.
it's a fat pack. You see a pack of these fat, ugly broads with the nose septum piercings and the hair, whatever, and they go out in a pack and they see they're the normal ones, and
Yeah.
me, like this body, height body rate or weight to height ratio normative, white guy with a family. It's like, oh, like, you fucking weirdo, like, that's not normal. What are you doing? You can't be like
Language.
that. So
Language.
they feel, I feel like when they make these games, they feel like it might be a hit. Like, they're like, oh, people are gonna react to this because this is the they've been waiting for. They've made so many games for people like you, these Chris's, every white guy named Chris. Oh, enough of these guys, enough of these straight white, height to weight proportionate males. We don't want any games. The fat trannies, they're the ones who need a game. They haven't gotten their game yet. And when they see their game out there, these fat trannies are going to pull out their wallets and they're going to say, take my money, you fat tranny. I've been waiting for this. And, the reality is that there's not that many of them. There's like,
No,
only,
but they're the loudest. They're the loudest.
They are.
Well, I just the only takeaway I get from that is the thing that consistently confuses me is if you're like a big, fat, really big, ugly lady, isn't the last thing you want a ring in your nose?
I mean, you think they have a hard enough time breathing as it is, but they
Yeah.
want to feel disabled. That's part of it. Like, I can't breathe. I need the parking pass. Get me the magic key pass and the goofy disabled pass so I can
Did you see
cut
that
your
video?
family in line, even though your 2-year-old screaming his damn head off for chocolate milk.
Well, most of them do not have and do not want children, so they're not reproducing, at least. Because I do have to say, we have to. I know it was in the middle of a passionate rant, but this is a network television. We can't use language.
Oh.
Use language. This is a network show. This is late night, but it's not that late.
Not that late. Not that.
Okay. I don't have a mute button. I don't know how to do the technical stuff. That's usually Steven. So I went on a delay or anything, but it's okay. It was an impassioned rant, and I agree with it. But
They don't
yeah,
want to. They don't want to see me. They don't want to see me. They don't like it. They don't like it. I don't know why they don't like it. I don't know. Maybe because they're not it. They hate us because they ain't us. I can't say.
Well, the society has spent so long reinforcing every disordered inclination that if you dare to question, even if it comes from like a good place, like, maybe what's the name of that big singer?
Lizzo.
What's her name?
Lizzo.
Huh?
She's
Yeah.
lost some weight though. She's
Okay,
lost some weight. And
right.
I gotta say, like, everyone was mad at her playing James Madison's Crystal Flute, and it wasn't great that she twerked when she did it. But I gotta say, she actually is like she has a monochrome of talent more than I do. I can't play a damn flute, so I'll give her that she has at least some skill, some technical skill.
Yeah. But even if someone said to her, "Hey, maybe you want to be like a little healthier," it's taken as like an assault. They call it a microaggression, right? And you can't do it. But what should we say? Like, just keep getting bigger and die, and then that would make them happy? I don't understand.
No, I mean, she lost weight. That's why, a lot of this body positivity stuff, you don't hear it anymore since Ozempic. So it went out the window. Now everyone's skinny again.
Yeah.
The Mar-a-Lago face. That's what all the women want, the Mar-a-Lago face. The buccal fat. Get the buccal fat removed. I think it look good on me. Maybe I should get rid of these haunches, jowls.
No, I got enough of that myself. Yeah, I got my own problems.
Buccal fat. Get the buccal fat.
Now, what is a Mar-a-Lago? And it's a place where Trump lives.
It's an ocean by the lake, right?
I don't know.
I mean, that's what it says. It's an ocean by a lagoon. It's a mar. It's a sea, right? Mar is sea.
Oh, is that what it means?
Lago is lagoon, so it's an ocean lagoon. I know. Whoa, ocean lagoon. My chair slipped.
And that's where Trump lives.
Yes, yeah. No, it's his beautiful home in Mar-a-Lago. It's historic estate. I think it was built back in the 1960s or something like that. I don't know much about Mar-a-Lago. I've been there like one time. It's a nice nice place, but I don't know anything else.
Now, normally we don't talk a lot of politics on the show, but seeing as you're the guest, what do you think about everything? Is this administration fulfilling promises? I know that there's only been one chain of restaurants so far that has switched to tallow. And RFK's big thing was McDonald's is going to get back to the tallow fries and everybody's going to do it and you can go and eat whatever the heck you want and be healthy. Well, they haven't done it yet. I can still go and I see, in fact, I saw, if he was 2 years old, it was a lot. A 2-year-old baby eating a bag of hot Cheetos in the shopping cart while his mother was screaming and cursing on the phone right next to him. So has that much really changed?
Yeah, I mean, I would say yes. You want to look at the Maha stuff because I think that's a hot issue for a lot of people. A lot of people voted for Trump because of that, understandably so. I think you've made a lot of progress. They're already phasing out a lot of these food dyes. There's some people who have criticized, well, if it's poison, they should take it out immediately. The reality is, the Republican Party still has a lot of libertarian-minded people, and some of the stuff we're still building tenuous coalitions. And honestly, oddly, a lot of the Maha people have libertarian tendencies as well. Nobody wants a nanny state. And I think that something really important about this is, number one, we should slow roll in some of these regulations. I think some of the food additives we need to take a look at. They've already done that. I think the question or the conversations they're having about pesticides are extremely important. But I think also the ability to use the bully pulpit is going to be one of the most important things about RFK Jr.'s role, right? I mean, we've already seen a lot of voluntary moves. Now, you're right, only one restaurant has switched to tallow so far, but now more people are talking about this stuff. The reality is there's demand where there wasn't before, and people are able to come out. I go to Target. Speaking of Target, you go to Target and you'll see tree sap based gum on their shelves instead of just
Yes.
the plastic stuff. You'll see like they're coming out with these products. I'll tell you my actual concern is what I said before about Netflix, right? Netflix doesn't care about us. They don't like us. They don't want to like make products for us.
Oh,
They just want our money.
Right.
So when I see
They
Netflix,
want to make cuties.
yeah, they want to make cuties, right? Exactly. They want to make cuties. That's what they really want to do because that's what they did when nobody was looking. But when you look at, say, like Van Man, right? Van Man's making a good product. Van Man does it because he actually cares. Van Man's not just doing it because he thinks that people want to buy it. He's doing it because people want to buy it, but he also thinks it's a good product. My concern is that these large competitors, these large organizations that don't actually share our values, are going to switch in the short term based off of demand alone and are going to outcompete these smaller values-based organizations that have been able to start up, right? And they're going to go away because they won't be able to compete with these big box stores, these big retailers. And then when these guys switch their values again, we suddenly won't have those good options with the values baked into the organization. So I think that's the danger of where we're at right now, looking at like the kind of conservative movement, especially like the conservative, alternate economy of people, as people have called it.
Right. Well, my camera software has crashed, and I cannot seem to get it to restart. So maybe this would be a good place to wrap up. We have gone long because I've enjoyed the conversation so much.
Yeah, man,
But,
I really appreciate you bringing me on the show. It's been a lot of fun. I hope your audience has enjoyed it as well. I hope I was entertaining and potentially even informative. Probably not, but at
yes,
least
very, very edifying, very entertaining. We were simpatico and a lot of things. We would love to have you back. I don't know. I'm sure your schedule is very busy.
Yeah,
But,
I'd be stoked to be back on. Just send me a DM and we'll make it happen.
well, that sounds great. Yeah, and I hope that you and everyone else also enjoyed Guess My Donkey's Birthday at the top of the show, which Stephen did a good job of playing. And thank you. So thank you to my guest, Chris Boyle. I am here. I am your host, Chris Lawrence. You cannot see me because I'm invisible, but I am here, and I am signing us off for the night. Thank you all so much for watching, and anyone that's watching in the future, and we'll see you next week.